What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on Buy Sell Cars TV. Today you join me here over at BCA Blackbush. I've picked up this Volkswagen Polo, quite a nice colour actually, something a bit different, which is why I actually bought this car, but wanted to bring this one to the channel again, show you what it's like buying a cheap car from the auction. So without further ado, let me give you a walk around, show you a lot on this car because the condition isn't perfect. There are things which need doing. Then we're going to take it for a first drive and potentially look at getting some of those repairs done if needed. So let's get on with the walk around and let me show you this car. Okay, so let's start with the walk around of the car. And the first thing is, like I mentioned, the color is really, really nice. It's very dirty. It needs a nice clean. It probably hasn't been cleaned in the last 6 months. That's just how the car looks at the moment. But very, very nice color. Not something which you see every day. We're missing a hubcap, but not a big deal. I'm probably going to get all 4 of those changed because it looks a lot nicer. Some of these have marks on them, so it will just make a big difference when I get those done. Over down here, you can just see it's really filthy. It's actually quite hard to make out the condition of the bodywork and paintwork underneath, but I reckon once this is clean, it's going to look a lot better. A couple of little creases over here and some marks, but it is an older car, so not expecting miracles on that front, but you're going to see the transformation at the end of the video. Going around the back, so what have we got? Rear bumper over here is not looking very nice. We've got a lot of sort of scuffs and scratches over there. Bit of a deeper one over there as well. But you could just see it really is dirty, the amount of prints and stuff that are on the car. A little bit of an imprint over there, so potentially been used as a learner car at some point. Going down the driver's side, it's looking pretty good for the age, apart from obviously the wing mirror that's missing, so that's going to get rectified at some point as well. Does look like is it going to be I think we're going to have to do a full replacement on this. It's being held on with zip ties, but I have actually got a Polo sitting in the office car park, so potentially you can just take one off there because that is a car that we are using for spares at the moment. But hopefully that gives you a good idea of how this car is looking in its current state. It's not perfect, it is an old car, you know, we've got a crack on the number plate, a bit of lack appeal, but it's a Volkswagen Polo, it's a nice colour, it's going to give us something to work with and get this car in a nice roadworthy condition and make it look as good as possible. Let me show you the interior. Moving into the interior, and on first impressions, condition wise it's looking okay, but it needs a hell of a clean. Everywhere I'm looking I'm just seeing dirt, stains, hairs. Well, it's gonna need a deep clean, this one. You can see around the bolster as well. The condition of course is fine, it just needs good old scrubbing to make it like new. On a car like this, I absolutely love it because you are really going to see a massive change once we get the car clean. But even down here you can see just lots of dirt everywhere. Over on the passenger side as well, how are we looking? Let me just chuck these on the floor. Still the paperwork. Don't know what this is. What is that? Someone's shirt? I don't know. How are we seeing things? Well, it's a bit better than the driver's seat, but again, it's going to need a good old clean. Even down here we can see in all little gaps over there. There is just dirt everywhere. Let's just be honest about this car. There is dirt absolutely everywhere. Headlining at some point as well. Funny enough, I mentioned this on a previous video, didn't I? So it's sunken and they've obviously just put a repair kit in place. Not to the possible best of standards, I'll say. It doesn't always look the best, but it's doing the job. It's holding the headlining in place, and that's the important thing on a car of this sort of value. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how we are looking on this Polo at the moment. A lot of work that needs to get done to bring this up to a good standard. Getting it cleaned, getting that mirror replaced, putting some touch up on some of those marks in the bodywork as well. And those are just some of the things that we know as of yet. So we need to take it for a drive. We need to see how the car is driving. I've only pulled it out from the car park over there, so yet to see how this car actually feels on the road. So let's get the camera set up, take it for a drive and head towards the car valeters. Right, so let's pull out the auction, see how this Polo is driving. Second gear. Seems to be okay. Third gear, it's pulling well. Fourth gear, fifth gear. Clutch feels very nice as well. It's probably been replaced at some point. You know, the mileage on the car is 89,000, so I highly doubt it's the original clutch, but it feels good, which is a good thing. Only thing I'm a bit annoyed about, and I've only got myself to blame, is the engine manager light is on the car. When I was bidding on this car, the photos showed that the car was not running. So you take your own risk in that respect, right? You know, for whatever reason, when they took the photo off the dash, the car wasn't on. So I've done it in the past. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. But when you're buying a cheap car, sometimes you got to just bite the bullet, right? So in this case, not ideal. Engine management light is on. However, the car drives absolutely fine at the moment. So I'll get it plugged in and find out what the issue is. It could just need a reset. It could just be, you know, an old fault code. So I'll get it plugged in and get that checked out when I get back. The only other thing I've picked up on is there is a little rattle coming from the front driver's side. Now it sounds like a broken coil spring. It's hard to tell without obviously having a look, but it sounds familiar, that noise. It could be something different, but it's something suspension related. So that is something which is going to need to get investigated as well. Again, not ideal, another cost involved now, but this is part of buying, you know, an old car. This is the risk you take when you're buying these cheapies. Sometimes you get a great one, sometimes you get not so great. To me, this sits somewhere in the middle because I kind of knew what I was expecting with a couple of things. So I wasn't expecting a gem, but equally I wasn't expecting to have things like a broken coil spring, potentially. So just something to think about when you're buying these old cars. So why did I want to buy this car? The colour stood out to me. Not something which you see every day and people will like. It's classed as a red, but to me it looks more purple, purpley red, red purple. Again, I like buying Polos. I like having a variety of them in stock, so when a customer does come to view one, you know, they've got a selection of Polos to choose from. The mileage was pretty attractive as well, 89,000. I appreciate some of you might think it's high, some might think it's low for the age, but in terms of the price point of this car and the age, to me that's really good mileage. You've got a lot of life left in it if the car's been maintained, which leads on to my next point, the service history. So it was advertised with a service book that was stamped up to 2014. Let's be honest, the car has obviously been serviced since 2014. It's very unlikely over the last sort of 3 or 4 owners or whatever it's had have not serviced the car. So chances are it's been serviced. Now, upon collecting the car, as you just saw, there was quite a bit of paperwork on the passenger seat. Having a flick through, I've managed to find a lot of invoices, most recent one being from 2022. So it has been serviced not too long ago and even in the previous years. So it is a positive. Potentially we'll need a service again depending on the mileage it's done since then, but I'll have a proper look through the paperwork once we get back. The main point is to say, if the car's been maintained, this mileage is absolutely fine. So what am I going to need to get done to this car? Well, whilst I'm stuck in traffic, it's probably a good time to talk about it. Bodywork wise, let's get the car cleaned and let's see where we stand on how it's looking, because it's very hard to tell if this car is really tatty or not. We won't know too much until we get the valet done. Wing mirror, we'll get that addressed straight away. Like I said, I've got a Polo at the office and it's just being used as a spares or repairs car, so I can take the wing mirror off that. I'll get it fitted. If I need to, I'll get it painted or try and find, you know, one on eBay. Car's got a long MOT on it already, so it's not something which I'm going to need to get done. When it does go to the garage to get any of those repairs done, such as if it is a coil spring, I'll get the car inspected just to make sure that everything is okay and it is a roadworthy car. At the same time, if it does need to be serviced, then of course it'll be serviced. If not, potentially be something I'll look to get done at the point of sale. But interior wise, it really is going to need a valet. You know, the more I'm sat in here, I really don't feel clean. It's not a clean and nice place to sit, if I'm honest. And when I was having a good look in the back as well, there was just like spilt drinks or I don't know what the hell it was, but this car has probably not been cleaned in the last year, which makes me think maybe it was just some youngster who potentially had this car and has trashed it about a little bit. But other than that, as it stands, you know, engine temperature's fine. There doesn't seem to be any other weird noises from the engine. You know, Polos are pretty reliable cars, so they're generally pretty basic to fix as well. So when you do run into problems, it's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. So things are looking good at the moment. A lot of work to get done. We're going to talk about that and show you all these things throughout the video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get it dropped off to the valeters first, because I just do really want to see the state of that bodywork. And even though the car's going to go to the mechanics and I like to normally get it cleaned after, in this case, I'm going to get it dropped off to the valeters first, let them work their magic, then I'll get it taken to the mechanics, get any issues rectified, and then I'll do a conclusion where I show you the car in its current final state after it's been valeted, after it's been repaired and everything's been done. So it's ready for sale, and we can talk about how much exactly did it cost me to get this car ready for sale. So on that note, I'm going to get this dropped off to the car wash, and I'm going to see you guys in a couple of days. So let's give you a walk around on the exterior now after it's been valeted, and you can now start to see the colour is really popping through. I had the hubcaps changed as well because I did have one of those missing, and to be honest, it doesn't cost a lot of money, but I'd like to think it makes a big difference when you are getting the car put for sale. Makes it look a bit more presentable, especially now that the car is valeted. Bodywork wise, in terms of the condition, I haven't really done much to it, to be honest with you, because it is an old car and also at the price point, so you can't start spending crazy money on fixing the bodywork. But just from getting it nice and clean, you can see those thick layers of dust have been removed and the colour is really starting to pop. The only thing which I still might try and do potentially is do a headlight restoration over here, because you can see that side is brand new, has probably been replaced at some point, whereas this side is going very yellow and misty. So that is one of the things which I still might need to get done. But other than that, you get an idea of how the car's looking, valeted, new hubcaps on and looking nice in the sunlight. Let me show you the interior. So, looking at the interior, and on first impressions, it is definitely looking a lot better than how it was before. Not saying it's perfect, but considering it is an old car, the seats are a bit old and worn. Still is a little bit of marks on there, but much better than how it was looking before. Carpet down here as well, all of it's been nicely valeted. So it definitely is looking and smelling and feeling a lot more fresh than how things were looking before. Over on this side as well, the seat is looking better. The carpet down here, I don't know if you can pick up much of that, but it is looking nice and clean and fresh. The rears as well, how they're looking. It's a bit tricky to pick up with all that sun shining through, but they are looking very nice and clean. Carpet as well is looking much better than how it was before. It was a bit of a skip before, especially all down the center console and in the corners. It was not a nice place to sit, but hopefully that gives you a nice idea of how things are looking on the interior and the exterior, and you can really see in this lighting that color start to pop through. It looks absolutely amazing. Right, so let's now get into some of those numbers of the things I've needed to get done to get this car ready for sale, because there were quite a few things that we spoke about and saw earlier on in the video. So I've got all those facts and figures here, so let me run through some of those for you now. So the first thing we had to do was get the car valeted. Now, of course, as always, in and out, big, deep, clean job. That cost me £50. Well worth me doing that, because let's be honest, it wasn't a nice place to be sat in. And if someone's coming to view a car, first impressions make a big difference. So £50 on that. The other thing which we noted was the knocking noise coming from the front suspension. Now that did turn to be a coil spring, so getting that done with the labour, that cost me £98. On the exterior, didn't really do any touch-up work other than obviously getting the mirror replaced and putting the hubcaps on. So the hubcaps were £14, just a cheap job from Halfords, but they look good and it makes the car look a lot more fresh. So £14 well spent. And the wing mirror itself, now I did say I had a spare car at the office because I bought a Polo a while ago. That's not really something I wanted to retail, so I thought I'll keep it in stock, use the car for parts, and I did. So I replaced the wing mirror. It's not the same colour, however, it's functional, it does its job. So if you're looking online on eBay, you can probably pick a mirror up for 20 quid. Because of the colour of this car, it's not a common one, so you'd probably have to get it painted. But in my case, it was free because I got it off a car that I had. But hopefully that gives you an idea of the cost I've had to spend on getting this car ready for sale. I will let you guys know in the comments down below how much this car has cost me, but I want you to comment down and let me know how much you think I paid for this car in terms of the actual hammer price, so without the fees. So comment down below, guys, let me know what you think I paid, and I will respond to let you know the price of this car. So as I said, hopefully that has shown you the full end-to-end process, getting this car ready for sale in terms of the costs involved, the condition it was like when I got it, and how it is now ready for retail. So hopefully you've enjoyed that one, guys. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'll pop a little thing up on the screen now so you can check that out. But other than that, I really hope you've enjoyed this one. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care, guys.